It is party time, Mom. Yeah, this time it worked. Never know sometimes. Chance. It's weird buttons over there. We start a few times before we get this thing right. Party time. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, your first opening was way better than this one.
Yeah, it was full of energy.
Yeah.
I don't want to commit to the scene until I know the scene's actually going to happen. It's Monday's hangover. No hangover here though. Thanksgiving week. What are you doing? What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Keeping it simple.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't have a large family.
I don't have any family. Just kidding. I have my mother and my brothers, but they're in Georgia.
Yeah, and your kids.
Yeah.
And they're
scattered.
They're
gone.
Yeah. But so I'm an only child.
Yeah.
And but we're just having my parents over for Thanksgiving. We're in that weird spot where you have a toddler and you don't really want to travel with the toddler because traveling with the toddler is the worst. Yeah. So usually we go to my parents, but this year they're going to come to us, and we're just gonna just keep it simple.
I hope everybody remembers why we do Thanksgiving. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in our overtime segment this week.
Because they want to eat.
Because they want to eat all of the food.
A lot of, because they're gluttonous.
Well, there is a lot of that. And we're going to have Dr. Mark Sherwood on in the next segment to talk about that and the plan for just not only Thanksgiving, but your life and trying to eat a little healthier. I've been trying to. And I get people, my buddy Travis Wilson, he's been on the show. He's always... he's got Alpha Elite Performance. He's like, dude.
Yeah, they're great.
Stop with the no carbs thing. He hates it, right?
Really?
Yeah. But I'm like, dude, you have a gym in your office and you're constantly going at it. You're a Green Beret, dude. You hit it. You're doing a ruck every day. And he's like, come over, let's do a short ruck and then we'll eat burritos. I'm like, I'm not eating burritos on Wednesday, bro. And it's like, me, I had to do something extreme to kickstart myself. Also, Travis Wilson sleeps in his own bed every night. For the most part.
Right.
I'm gone.
He can prepare meals.
Yeah, I'm on the road. I'm not in my kitchen. I haven't been home now for 12 days. Right? So this is my 12th straight day I've not been home. Right. And I have not slept in my own bed. I've been gone. And so I had to do that. So anyway, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. It's always my favorite. Like, that's my favorite meal, no question about it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, people have heard me talk about this.
Do you typically eat in the evening or do you eat in the afternoon?
Morning, noon, and night.
Well, that's why I feel like, I don't know, I always grew up and we ate before the Cowboy game. So we're eating kind of like a late, like a late lunch. And then people are like, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, come at 6:30. And I'm like, y'all wait till 6:30 to have your Thanksgiving meal? Because then by that point, we're having seconds.
That's not God's will at all. So
that's when leftovers are supposed to be
I'm going to smoke a turkey, and then, of course, we're frying a couple of turkeys. We'll do turkeys every day this week. And when I say we, I'm talking about like CJ's family, because they have a huge family. Yeah. And they do all this stuff, and it's a big party with them. They go all out. I mean, they hay rides and the whole thing.
Really?
Caroling.
See, I can't. That's not for me. Yeah.
Well, that's for them. And I'm in it.
That's a lot.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like I was talking to my second oldest daughter. When I say the kids are gone, they just got stuff going on. Right. They're doing things. Yeah. Like she's got shows on. She's touring the country. She's got a show on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh.
She's got a show on Christmas Day.
Jeez.
So I think she gets to come home for like 2 days, and then she's boom back out on the road.
Wow.
She's living her best life though.
Good for her.
She's loving it. Good. She's outstanding. I think she was just in Newark, and then she was in Atlantic City both this last week doing shows, and she's bouncing all over. So
good for her.
Anyway, I don't tell more information because you're some creepy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I tell you, I enjoy it. But I always try to remember to be thankful. A year ago this time, I was a different person. I was not in a good place. Like I was going through a lot, and I wasn't the best version of me. And I used Thanksgiving and around that season to really give myself a talking to, right? And I think you have to do that every now and then, and just remind yourself to be thankful. And I don't know, man, we got a lot. We're blessed, and it's a lot of hard work. Somebody said to me on Twitter, they said, "You talk for a living, you don't work hard." Okay, you're probably right. I mean, I'm not out digging ditches, that's for sure. I've done that. I've swung the sledgehammer, and I learned earlier that's not my calling in life. I'm not good at that, So We just keep talking for a living.
Yeah, I know. I love when people say get a job. I'm like, I have one. It just happens to be very cool.
It's a very cool job. And you know what? We worked hard to get there. They're not just handing them out, or everybody could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look at this. I'm wearing a dirty T-shirt that I dug out of the back seat of my truck. I got a cowboy hat on, and I hadn't bathed in 3 days.
Oh, no.
And here I am making more money than most people. I kid about that. Buy shirts from me. PratherTees.com.
That is what I want to say, right? Back to those people.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, I probably make more money than you, and I have fun doing it. So what does that say about you?
This is what people hate about us when we start talking about this, because they don't understand we're joking.
Yeah,
right?
I'm joking, but that's my point is like, what kind of person says that to someone?
Yeah. I mean, it's the American dream. It's the entrepreneurial.
Yes.
I mean, this past week was National Entrepreneurs Day. It's always some kind of day.
That's
National Entrepreneurs Day. I mean, we're entrepreneurs at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know, I was doing a podcast, one show a week, audio only, and look at me now, Ma. You know, got the best studio. My studio is better than Glenn's.
It is. I also think
I don't tell Glenn that.
I also think some people think like we're just raking in the millions working here. That's really not the case.
No, here's my philosophy on
We're
life.
not elitists.
Here's my philosophy. I only want to do something if it's fun.
Yeah.
Everything in life ain't fun. And I've done a lot of things in life that aren't fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to have fun. I want to be a joyful warrior. You know, you do what you got to do. I want to be that. I want to be that person. Vision, passion, discipline, risk. I want to be that person. I want to have all the gusto I can possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, running for office was not fun.
No.
It was not fun. That was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, we were doing it by ourselves, basically. There was no big team behind us that was doing all
right, because you're not a rich elitist that had all of these things handed to you.
Yeah. I was the one putting my own banners up, you know.
Yeah.
Putting my own signs in the ground.
But people are real quick to criticize anything having to do with that. They do the same thing with me whenever I talk about homeschooling. They're like, oh, well, I'm sure it's easy for you because you're so rich. I'm like, I did it all myself.
Yeah. Look at us bitching. Look at us bitching about life. Here it is, Thanksgiving.
I don't think we're bitching.
Nah, we're not. Just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Having fun with it. I'm excited, though. I'm excited about next year. Now, again, they may not let us live it. But, like, I'm excited about what I'm doing.
So if you don't go to the re-education camp, you will be
right.
Really
if I'm not
excited.
on a train car, which they will never get me on a train car alive. Not happening.
Yeah.
Just not happening. And, you know, we didn't talk about it yesterday, but, you know, they had another mass shooting in Colorado at the LGBTQ bar. You know, in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Still don't have a motive on that, at least at the time of this taping, when we're taping right now. Don't have a motive. And again, they want to always assign that to conservatives. You know, they want to say, oh, see, you conservatives. And you guys, you know, conservatives who don't like abortion, and conservatives who read their Bibles, and conservatives that, you know, they're typically not into murder.
No.
They're typically not into murder. This is a mental illness. This is,
as it turns out, only mentally ill people want to kill others.
Yeah. That's not about political affiliation.
No.
It's about mental illness. You know, if you have a desire to go out and murder people, and they say, oh, it's a hate crime. What is a love crime?
Right.
I mean, that thing, oh, it's a hate crime. No one has ever murdered anybody in the name of love like that. I mean, that's just going and said, you know, I'm going to commit a mass shooting. And it's a sad, tragic deal. And, of course, immediately it becomes about assault weapons and the Second Amendment, and they immediately got to start doing this stuff. And here's the thing: when I am sitting in a restaurant and somebody walks through the door, I look at the person. You know, like, is this person a nut? Is this person crazy? I've never had a gun walk through the door. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a gun pick itself up and walk through the door. But I do watch people. I pay attention to the room, the surroundings.
Yep.
You know, if I'm out walking on the trail somewhere and somebody comes running up behind me, I check them out.
I'm always aware of the closest exit.
100%. 1,000%. I don't care if I'm in the Waffle House or a theater. I don't care. Always aware of that. And it's getting to the point where you just don't even want to go to places anymore, you know. And I'm usually carrying. And, but again, that's not, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know. But like they had in Fort Worth the other night, Sunday night, they had their parade of lights and the Christmas tree lighting and, you know, all those chairs lined up down the street. I saw it. I mean, it was a mess. All of Fort Worth downtown was, if you looked at the map, it was all red. There's no way I'd go to that.
Right.
Not when you got people running over folks with cars and running into crowds. No way I'm going to something like that. I mean, that is a target-rich deal, and it's the crazies that are out there, you know? And you wish to God that nothing would ever happen, and guns left to themselves aren't going to hurt anybody. But crazy people, we're not doing it. This is a guy, what we do know about this guy in Colorado Springs, he's like 22 years old. He had a standoff with the police last year after a bomb threat, and he held his mother hostage. Why is he free?
Right.
And let me also say, if I say Colorado, you don't think that is a Republican bastion.
No.
If I say Colorado, you think of the hippies in the high altitude, and they're all smoking weed, and they're all, you know, artsy-fartsy, and super health nuts, and a lot of granola.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's you in a nutshell, but they don't typically vote red.
No.
Contrary to that fact is Lauren Boebert did win another term in a very close race.
But yeah, I was going to say barely, if that tells you anything.
She's got a crush on me. I don't mind saying it on this show.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
Yeah, she's okay. Her husband doesn't appreciate it. I'm just kidding. She's a friend. She's a friend. That's what we're going to call it. That's what we're going to call it. She messages me.
This is how rumors get started.
We chat. I know. She's a sweetheart. She's a spitfire, that's for sure. But anyway, reminds me a lot of you.
That's why I get along with her so well.
Yeah.
I love her.
She's good people.
Yeah.
You've had her on your show, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's a spitfire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just really.
But again, back to that point, you don't think of Colorado as a conservative bastion.
No. And well, I get very frustrated with conservatives already having the conversation of they're already being put on the defense to explain why they are not like the shooter, and they actually don't advocate for killing LGBT people, because it's like that's not even, we don't even know if that's what it was. If you recall back at what was the Orlando club? The gay club that was
Pulse.
Pulse. Didn't that end up being a gay guy?
It's a gay guy.
So have we learned nothing from several years ago whenever that happened? No. And everyone jumped up and said, it's you conservatives' rhetoric. It's your fault that this is happening. Oops. As it turns out, that's not the case at all. And they've learned nothing, and they keep pushing it. They've come at me and tried to tell me that it's my fault, my rhetoric against gay people is causing people to go out and commit these shootings. And I'm like, my rhetoric is against the sexualization of children. If it's gay people doing it, that's on them. That's not my problem.
Yeah, because we make it very clear it's about children.
Correct.
When I'm on stage, I have a thing that I talk about. You know, I try to make a point with humor.
Yeah.
But I always talk about, I don't care what you're doing as long as you're leaving kids alone.
Right.
Right? I don't care as long as you're leaving kids alone. The rest is between you and your circle and God.
I've never once posted an expose video of me going undercover to a drag brunch where there are no children present.
Right.
I've never done that.
And you were there this weekend, and you've now got the viral content that's on there. Do you have some of that? The pictures. Pop a couple of those up there. It was a very bright. So this was transgender
story time.
Mm-hmm. This wasn't drag queen. There's Sarah out there looking smoking hot in front of very armed Antifa.
Yeah, that's correct. It was not a drag queen storytime hour, but it was for children, young children, where they would read about gender identity and, ideology and things that young children should not.
Why?
That's my point.
Why? I don't get it. So you were out there, and of course Alex Stein was out there.
Yes.
Was Taylor out there?
Taylor was out there documenting it.
I mean, you guys are.
Taylor and I got Taylor and I got inside, and Taylor and I got kicked out rather quickly because Antifa goes in, and I'm sure that they get together with the business beforehand and say, oh, well, we'll protect you, we'll work as your security, and we'll root out the people who try to come in. And so they told them that we were there, and so we were removed. And it just makes you wonder, if it's also innocent, why do you have to remove anyone from documenting it?
Right. Well, yeah. You and Alex, y'all had some pretty funny clips.
Antifa LARPing as big, bad, tough guys. I'm like, dude, you eat so much soy. I've got bigger balls than you.
What town was that in?
Denton.
I was in Denton.
Patchouli Joe's bookstore in Denton.
Denton has become something else, man.
It sure has.
Good job, University of North Texas.
Yeah, we can write them off like Austin, I think.
Yeah, no kidding. It is time to make your health great again as we get closer to the new year. For anyone looking to ignite your fat-burning metabolism, boost your energy, and transform how you look and feel, start taking care of your liver. I'm loving this stuff. Your liver is your body's master detoxifier. It performs over 500 key functions in your body every day. It's responsible for cleansing and removing thousands of harmful toxins. Liver Health Formula contains 12 powerful botanicals clinically proven to recharge and protect your liver at the cellular level. It helps restore your liver's detoxifying abilities, boost your energy levels. You can kick your natural metabolism into high gear. It also works remarkably well to fight fatty liver, which is a silent epidemic affecting 100 million Americans. Liver Health Formula is backed by the latest science and approved by American doctors, and every bottle is manufactured right here in America, too. And right now, as part of my audience, you can try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free. They'll send you 5 free gifts as well, and you'll get a free 30-day supply of nano-powered omega-3. A powerful blend of omega-3 fatty acids supports a healthy brain and heart and 4 times better absorption thanks to the special nano delivery system. You're going to get 4 free ebooks to support every aspect of your health and longevity regardless of age. Go to getliverhelp.com/Chad to claim your risk-free supply of Liver Health Formula. And the 5 bonus gifts, you're covered by a 365-day money-back guarantee, so you got nothing to lose. Getliverhelp.com/Chad. Give them a call, 800-282-1757. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Thanksgiving week, and I know a lot of you are trying to make healthy decisions. Some of you are not. Some of you already got your stretchy pants ready to go for Thursday, and you're going to get nuked up on turkey and dressing, and then take a big long nap, and hopefully watch the Cowboys win. We'll see. I don't know, but I want to talk to you about that a little bit because it's kind of been something near and dear to my heart lately, and to do that, I want to talk to our good buddy and our favorite doctor, Dr. Mark Sherwood. Welcome back to the show, Doc. How are you, man? You ready for Thanksgiving?
I am, Chad. Are you ready? I was hearing about the stretch pants and maybe the oversized belts, but hey, let's figure out how to fix that, right?
Yeah. So, as you know, I cut carbs out of my life as best I could. And everybody's going to get some of it just because, but I haven't had bread in a month, and it's amazing to me. I don't know if it's a gluten thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the stuff they put on wheat. I don't know. But I know that cutting out those carbohydrates, like within a matter of days, the inflammation and arthritis in my elbows was just gone. And weight loss aside, I was like a converted man. I was like, it's amazing what that did to me. We always know that it gives you some mental clarity when you go, higher protein and fat and cut those carbs out. But it's amazing the inflammation was just gone. Is there credence to that? I mean, what's the thing that's happening there? I mean, am I hallucinating?
No, you're actually not imagining it at all. So the wheat, corn, and soy, I will also add, has been genetically modified, Chad. To the point is designed to sort of create a better yield, and it's designed to also withstand the effects of Roundup. With that said, the body looks at that as a foreign invader. Not only do you get the foreign invader sort of response, but you also get the inflammatory action thereafter. Because when the immune system is triggered, Chad, part of the signaling molecules around the body is inflammation. And so I tell people that today's crop of wheat, corn, and soy that is genetically modified and contains both glyphosate and atrazine that are in Roundup, which are carcinogenic and estrogenic, by the way, respectively. When we pull that out of there, we actually get this massive reduction in inflammation like you experienced. Most people are going to get a big-time belly fat loss, and the majority of people are going to feel better, and it's typically within about 3 or 4 days. So I'm glad you did that, and I'm also not surprised that it happened.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it's an amazing thing, and whatever name you want to give what I've been doing now for a month, whether it's keto or whatever, everybody's got a name for it. For me, I don't really care. It's just been a lifestyle change, and I feel so much better. And then I try to figure out, okay, what eating plan do I want? And I want your advice on this. Do you go more to a Mediterranean? Do you go more to a paleo? My good friend Chad Robichaud, he's doing the carnivore thing. That is not for me. I can't. I don't think that's for me. But do you have a recommendation on that as far as if you're going to put a name on a lifestyle diet?
Yeah, I would call it God's lifestyle.
Yeah.
Real simple. If God made it in the packaged form that it was supposed to be in, we eat it. And you're right, there's a bunch of different plans out there. There's keto, there's carnivore, there's Mediterranean, there's South Beach, there's DASH, and on and on and on. But ultimately, it boils down to this principle I kind of call the Noah principle. Your genes have changed 2% in 10,000 years. So when Noah hopped off the boat and he and his family kind of waded through the stink of the dead bodies and waiting on some vegetation to grow up, God told him what to eat. Yeah. He did. And people can go back and read that in Genesis if you want. But the bottom line is it's plants, it's fruits, it's vegetables, it's fish, it's meats, whatever, in their natural God-created form. So whatever you do, if you do that, you're always going to have a very good response from the body. And so I just call it kind of God style, and you're good to go.
Yeah. This is good advice. It's crazy the stuff we eat. We call it food. It's not food. Stuff that they hand you through a window in a sack. And, I've had a lot of wheat farmers who have gotten mad at me because I've said the same thing that you've been saying about the wheat. And I'm like, listen, you can't, you're growing a crop that has been built to withstand poison, like Roundup.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's modified to the point where, if I wish, Italian wheat is completely different. European wheat is completely different. If you can eat that bread, and listen, don't get me wrong, it's weird because for millennia, people around the world, the staple is bread. You go to Africa, they're making bread out there in the street, right? They eat that stuff, but it doesn't have the same effect as it does on us Americans. And that's a crazy thing to see.
It's very challenging to hear because I too have traveled around the country and talked about this, and I've had farmers, literally come up and challenge that. And of course, they can't refute the data.
Right.
That's a fact. And then they say, well, I'm perfectly healthy. And I'm one to say, well, go get a proper test, which the system does not give proper tests. So when they do that, and a couple of them have taken me up on that, they found out that, oh, by the way, they're not healthy. And it's not that the body can't take a little bit of that in and adapt, grow some resiliency, but it's when that becomes the main staple of the diet of the American, it becomes a problem. And let us understand, too, that, other countries have different crops, as you noted, and it's not genetically modified. Therefore, it's not designed to harm us. Jesus ate wheat. I get that argument a lot, but he didn't eat this wheat. This wheat was created by mankind to create more profit. And Jesus was not about creating profitized wheat at the expense of the people.
So Thanksgiving is Thursday. It's my favorite. That's my meal. I love that stuff. I love the turkey, and I love the dressing, and I love the potatoes and the pastas, in the macaroni. I love all that stuff, right? And I'm not going to go crazy on it. I'm living by grace, not by law here, but I'm not going to go crazy on it. How should we approach this? Should we just give ourselves a carte blanche free day to go nuts and just eat all the pie and candied yam and all the garbage that's out there? How do you approach it?
Well, we first of all want to understand the real idea of Thanksgiving, Chad. Just over 200 years ago, we had the first one, and it was really a celebration of life because half the pilgrims died because of starvation and cold and all this mess, and they were celebrating the idea of life with some of the Indian natives of our country, that were just like showing them how to prepare and grow. And so it was, think about a handful of people sitting around and going, whew, my relatives and family are gone. I'm so grateful to God that I've got food right now and I'm alive. Yeah. Right. That's what it's about. But my approach is pretty simple. I don't want to miss some of the tradition of it. I do not recommend just going hog wild because, again, this is the temple and we shouldn't just overtly destroy it and ask God for enough grace to fix it after we abuse the grace. But there are ways, and this is some tips for people to have. You can go with cauliflower mashed potatoes. That's a great switch and have
and delicious too. I do that quite often.
Oh, you can use quinoa to make some stuffing. You can find some organic corn out there. You really can. So just hunt for that a little bit. And certainly you have your turkey as well. And, just just be more natural with stuff, maybe like the Pilgrims did, and maybe like the God style diet I talked about, and then make some activity. You know, don't just go sit down. And one thing I should mention, I don't want to be remiss about this, if you do make sort of a pie, you can actually use almond flour crust. And there's many recipes out there. You can even go buy them right now. So have at it and make a pie with almond flour crust. You could actually make a Thanksgiving meal pretty healthy. But as I was saying, just go out there and walk around a little bit. Let that food digest by walking, and that'll help you a lot. You know, go watch the Cowboys win, of course. But while you're watching them win, maybe on halftime, you're not going to miss anything anyway. Just go for a walk. And I think that will serve us very well.
Yeah. You know, I see you there in your office and those supplement bottles behind you. It looks like my cabinet in my kitchen right there, because every morning I'm unscrewing the caps and taking the supplements, and you know I've got all of yours, and it is a pattern for my life every day, and has been for a long time. And I really appreciate the products that you put out there. And folks watching this show or listening to this show, you can call Dr. Sherwood. You can be his patient. He will get your life turned around. I've told you guys about a good friend of mine. She's like, he helped me lose 60 pounds. He changed my life. And he can be your guy. And I want you to do that. I want you to get his supplements. I want you to get on his plans, read his books, and watch his show, his new show they've got out that he's doing with his wife, Michelle. What is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
It's easy. They can go right to Sherwood.tv/Chad. We made a special link for the Chad Prather Show viewers, and you can work with us wherever you are in the United States. We can get blood work done. We can show you the best practices and protocols and ways to remain in your optimum health and continue to even get better. There's ways to improve in all of us. I work at it every day. You work at it every day. We work together at it. Yeah. It's important. And so, you know, we have many, many products. We have a brand new invention called Kingdom Fuel, which is a 2-year shelf-life product, full meal for, guess what, $5. That's pretty cool. We have a program out there for everybody. So just encourage everybody to allow us to use our giftings to help you.
Sherwood.tv/Chad. And I appreciate that link. And I want people to use that link, because that tells Mark that I sent you. So that's a good thing. And I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you as a brother and as a friend. And happy Thanksgiving. And we'll get you back on here, and we'll do a follow-up on this thing and see if everybody was accountable to themselves. We'll get you on here in a couple more weeks, man.
Sounds great, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Just appreciate you so much. Thank you most of all for being my friend.
Man.
I'm really honored, man.
You bet. Happy Thanksgiving, Doc. I'll talk to you soon, brother. Take care.
All right. Sounds great.
Bye-bye. Hey, love Genucel. I have struggled to find a product that didn't irritate my skin. This is the only one that I've been able to use without problems. Not only do I love it, but my skin feels like velvet. Love, love, love it. That's Carmen from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, who fell in love with Genucel skincare. And from now until Thanksgiving, treat yourself to Genucel's most popular package for 70% off at Genucel.com. Do it right now. Treat yourself to the only skincare products you'll ever need, finally. Right now, every most popular package order includes Genucel's hyaluronic acid correcting serum free. Genucel's products delight men and women with inspiring results by correcting their daily skin problems like wrinkles, dark spots, dry skin, sagging jawline, facial redness, even those annoying bags and puffiness. And with its immediate effects, Genucel guarantees results in as little as 12 hours of your money back. Order at Genucel.com/WatchChad. Your most popular package includes a holiday gift set plus free express shipping. That's GENUCEL.com/WatchChad. Genucel.com/WatchChad. Be right back. Ooh, drink. I love giving a shout out to the Fact Pack.
Oh.
They get in the live chat, they start drinking.
Yeah, and curiously, we're not.
We're not, I know. We'll change that.
I have this stupid water over here keeping me hydrated.
It's horrible for you. Ugh. All right, folks. Every once in a while, an opportunity presents itself to give an object lesson whose very design and object is to illustrate the vast difference between what we on the right believe versus what is said about what we believe. For instance, Oakland, California, where a pretty horrific story that's been unfolding since 2016 is at last nearing its completion, there is someone named Dana Rivers, a national transsexual rights activist and former American Federation of Teachers labor leader and journalism teacher at Center High School in Sacramento. That's a mouthful. Notwithstanding the pedigree I just listed, Dana Rivers is two very important things in the telling of our story. One, a murderer, and two, not a woman. Dana Rivers used to be named David Warfield, but now identifies as a woman. And since dead naming the potential dead man walking is a crime of which I'm not particularly concerned about committing, let's just call this dude David. Now, in 2016, David violently murdered a lesbian couple and their adopted African son, and then attempted to cover up the deed by burning the house in which he'd done it to the ground. Fortunately, officers arrived on the scene while he was making the attempt and were at least able to put the fire out. Unfortunately, they didn't arrive in time to save any of the three human beings he had stabbed and shot. At first, David pled not guilty, but then subsequently changed his plea to guilty by reason of insanity. And as so often happens amid the slow-turning gears of our criminal justice system, he has only recently been finally found guilty of the murders and the arson. At the moment, the trial is moving to the penalty phase, and it remains to be seen whether he will go to prison or the funny farm or potentially even receive a death penalty. Now, when I said former teacher earlier, it's important to what I'm about to say that I note he was fired because despite being told not to, he continued to discuss his transgender identity with students long after concerned parents got involved. And why is that important to this story? Well, here we get to the promised object lesson, folks. Precisely because it probably isn't. Now, what do I mean by that? To answer that, ask yourself this question. If a leftist were sitting next to you right now, judging your response to this news story, and if you said anything at all about this dude being trans, what would their immediate response likely be? You're a hateful bigot, right? But this guy would be every bit as guilty of murdering two women and a child, whether he was wearing a pair of falsies or not, right? His sexual and gender proclivities might well inform the case. We don't know from the information available one way or another. But at the end of the day, he's a murderer. But I guarantee you the left won't see it that way. See, the burden of proof that you are not, in fact, a hateful bigot has been placed almost entirely on you in any given situation, and that's just not how the conversation should operate. And about the only thing that'll keep this conversation from happening in the first place is that he murdered two lesbians and an African child. Things get pretty hush-hush on the left side of the aisle when one member of the supposed intersectional downtrodden goes after other members of the intersectional downtrodden. Nevertheless, it's important to distinguish between reality and fiction, and the reality is that I've come on this program and spoken to you about a murderer who happens to be trans and not the other way around. It does not follow, in other words, that's because a trans person committed murders. All trans people commit or at least want to commit murders. Whew, that's a mouthful. A leftist view of what I'm saying wouldn't be so charitable, and it's crucial that we remember never to place too much emotional weight on bad faith arguments. Critical thinking is challenging enough on its own. Thank you very much. You're going to have to go back and watch that one again, what I just said, so... See, they melt down. But that situation in Oakland, that's got them. Because it's a trans person. You can't do anything to trans people. And then it's like, oh, they murdered lesbians. Oh, wait, well, see, it goes back to what we were talking about, the nightclub, the bar. And it's like, oh, we start finding these things out. And then you're going to say you're guilty by way of insanity. You want to lop your balls off. I'm reasonably certain you're insane.
Yeah. That I agree.
You know?
Yep.
I mean, God, I'm so happy that Chauvin the turkey got pardoned. You know?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that turkey is getting eaten.
Yeah. Look at you.
Look at you. God
Good.
love it.
Good.
God love him.
Boy.
God love him,
I'm
Joe
serious.
said. Will you play? I love Joe Biden so much. Will you play clip 2? Do we still have it pulled up? Yeah. Play it.
Windows. $500 for new doors, $2,000 to install a heat pump, $600 to replace electric panels. These are here's what this means. If you're living in a home with a drafty windows and doors starting January 1, you'll be able to save up to $1,100 in the cost of replacing them. And that's just on the upgrade. You're also going to save a lot of money going forward because your utility bills will be lower. And that's good for your wallet, but it's also good for the environment, because you're using less energy. And that's not all. If you want to install solar panels on the roof, you can get a tax credit for 30% of the cost. It'll bring down the cost of installation by about $7,500. And when you get to keep savings money on your electric bills for the remainder of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's the turkey. God bless him. Okay, so I don't know when Joe became Al the handyman and told you how to upgrade your home, but let me unpack that for you. He said, okay, so when you put the solar panels on your house, you're going to get a 30% rebate on that. It's going to give you $7,500 back in your pocket. So $24,000 now to put solar panels on your house, and you're going to get $7,500 back. Now, I don't know if you guys have an extra $25K laying around to slap the solar panels on your house, just so you can get a third of that back. But to me, that's bad math. Like, that's some Common Core bullshit.
Well, add in the windows, please. Because he said you're going to get $1,100 for the windows.
Yeah.
When I lived in my old house and we got an estimate for windows, it was like $20,000 for new windows.
Yeah, you want to go in there and start putting in the stuff he's talking about, the double pane, weatherized, all this kind of stuff,
That's not cheap. You're talking what? What do you think? $25,000, $30,000?
Yeah, easily.
But you do get $1,100 back.
Oh, and by the way, all of those things are probably on a supply ship in the Pacific Ocean, and good luck getting them. You know, like I'm. Chris, how long does it take to get a Tesla car now? So if you went into the showroom.
Well, if you want to go to the showroom, you can see them. But in order to get it, you're like in a queue of like 1,000 people.
Right.
Jeez.
And the Plaid alone, the one that costs $250,000, that's been on hold.
Yeah.
The factories in China all shut down.
So your electric cars you can't get.
Nope.
I can't go to the lot and just buy a car. They want me to get this. And then they want me to put panels and all this stuff. Those aren't at Home Depot. They're not.
No.
This stuff they're telling you to get. So they're talking to you. Hey, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. I'm serious.
And remember, this was part of the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah.
Not a joke.
It's not a joke. So this is what happens when the elites run the country.
Yeah.
They don't live where you live. My entire adult life, I've said, I don't care who the president is, they're not coming to my neighborhood. Yeah. Joe's not coming to my house. Nope. Joe and Kamala hadn't even gone to the border. She's the border czar. They don't care about where you're living. They'll deny it, and they'll tell you, oh, you go off. You know, Joe just had a perimeter fence built around his house that we paid for in Maryland.
So I guess border
or Delaware,
walls
wherever the hell he lives. Delaware, right? Yeah.
Delaware.
What were you asking?
I said, I guess border walls do work.
They do work.
We've determined that now?
They do work.
Interesting.
So I'm just saying, they don't live where we live. I mean, let me come up with $150,000 to just redo my whole house so you can give me $25,000 back. And I'll say, what, thank you?
Yeah, well, because in the time span of, the next 40 years, eventually you'll get that money back in what you're saving on utilities.
Saving on utilities.
And Chad,
so consider it a really, really good investment where you don't get your return back. It ain't going to protect me from
a nuclear bomb, but whatever.
What they're telling you is, when you get this money back, this is the BS. You do not get that chunk back of your next tax rate. It gets divided into the next 4 taxes. And by the way, if you lose that little number that they give you because you subtract it every year, so I'm supposed to get it was 33% back from my loan that I got for my solar panels. They divided that in 4 payments in 4 years. And if I did not give them the number that they gave me of what was left, it will throw everything out of whack and have amendments and all that stuff. So it's not like you're going to get that $25,000 back next year because they can't give you that money. Yeah. It gets divided.
Well, it's a good thing. I mean, we are hiring another 87,000 IRS agents who I'm sure will be able to take care of all of that.
1,000%. This is why heading into 2024, folks, you better be talking to your friends, neighbors, and family. You need to be talking about this because it doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom, anybody else. They're pushing a Green New Deal. This is their agenda forever. This is their 2060 agenda. I'm telling you, this is forever. It's all going to be about the climate. Yep. This is 100% what it's going to be. They truly intend to spend $91 trillion in an American infrastructure deal to rebuild everything in the name of climate science, which ultimately is a cult and a false religion. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, man. And you better tell them, show them a clip like that and say, are you going to vote for this? Really? This is what you're voting for. Anyway, hang tight. We'll be right back. Show the clip on Michelle Obama. Actually, play that clip about her hair. Yep.
As black women, we deal with it. The whole thing about, do you show up with your natural hair? You know, braids, y'all. You know, but you know, as First Lady, I did not wear braids. Being the first black. Yeah. I just, we gotta ease up on the people. You know, it's just like, because I thought about it. I was like, it would be easier. Nope, they're not ready.
The former First Lady says that she kept her hair straight so her husband's administration could focus on other issues and not her hair. You know,
well, that's the U.S. She said the U.S. wasn't ready for her African hair.
Well, that was very, very kind of her to...
Yeah, thank you for making sure that I wasn't offended by braids.
So that her husband could focus on other important things. Because that definitely would have been the conversation.
I mean, yeah, we all care about her braids.
Right.
I'm more offended by Jill Biden's dresses.
You mean curtains?
Yeah, her upholstery. Right? I could care less about Michelle Obama's braids. And by the way, if you go back and look at the pictures of them when they were getting married, and you look at the pictures when the girls were babies and all that stuff before they were ever on a national public scene, her hair was the same way. Yep. The same way. Yep.
Wait, are you saying that she's trying to create a controversy that
I'm saying
didn't
she's
exist?
aligned. Yeah.
Wow.
Of course she is.
She has great arms, though.
Well.
Beautiful arms. That's what we were told all throughout the Obama administration.
Yeah.
You remember?
Mm-hmm. I got things I want to say. Got a nice bulge.
Those two.
Nice bulge in those biceps.
It makes it makes the muscle definition make a lot more sense.
Yeah, and Barack Obama's gay. You got a TikTok? Let's play it.
I don't understand what is so hard about correcting other people when they misgender others. Like, it takes you like 2 seconds, but you know what it takes for me to have to constantly do that? A lot of unnecessary emotional labor that I already have to take on a daily basis just to exist and be who I am. But you don't have the energy to speak up and say something on my behalf. And I just have to keep white knuckling this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you do. You do. It's literally on you, bro.
Bro, girl, I don't even know what that was.
I don't know. That was a female?
A female?
That was a biological female? Yeah, it's on you. I mean, I at least gave you a bro.
No.
Yeah, like that's not something I got to carry for you.
No.
It's not my burden.
No. Well, I love that they always say, be who I am. I'm like, no, you are quite literally being who you are not.
Yeah.
Which is the whole problem.
Like I'm confused as F, man. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with you. You know? I don't know. Am I supposed to carry that around? You want to watch me crying in a pickup truck because I can't make your ass happy? I mean, is that what you need me to do? Sit around crying and whining and bitching on TikTok? Oh my God, I pissed somebody off because I said she was a girl. Jesus Christ. Who was a man, by the way? Jesus Christ was.
These people need help, man.
Dude, listen, you know what else takes a lot of time? Not just correcting people who misgender you. Therapy. You should try it. Like, invest in some of that. Have a little me time with your therapist, you know? How does that make they feel? How does that make them feel? They feel hurt. We know. Let's get to the bottom of it. How does it make them feel? Spend a little time with your therapist. Please. Mental health, man. And you wonder why nightclubs get shot up. You got idiots like this.
No,
and I'm not accusing that particular person, but I'm just saying these people don't know. They're schizophrenic.
Okay.
For crying out loud.
Only mentally ill people want to kill others. Also, only mentally ill people think that they can transition into the 97 million genders that they've made up in their heads. Like,
right.
the problem overwhelmingly is mental illness.
Did you see, okay, San Francisco's giving away the ultimate participation trophy.
Yes.
Where they're paying transgender people.
Yeah, like $1,200.
$1,200.
To exist, yeah.
And if you go and you fill out the form I read this week, there's like 100 different deals you can identify as.
Yeah, well, but don't worry, because there's also like another one that's like not listed. So just in case you are one of the other, 97 million that are not listed.
The aliens are coming, man. I'm telling you.
Well, also for that particular program, you get moved to the front of the line if you are a trans BIPOC. Yeah. So if you are trans and also Black, Indigenous, or person of color, you get moved to the front of the line.
The ultimate participation trophy is what that is right there. And San Francisco's just got money to give away.
Right.
They really do. And you know what? These people will do that as long as it's your taxpayer dollars. Nobody's gonna just fund that.
I mean, but how much longer can they do that in San Francisco? People have to be people have to be moving. The normal, sane people cannot just sit around while their tax money is taken from them to be used for crap like that.
Apparently they can, and apparently they keep voting in people like Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom.
It's really depressing.
And Eric Swalwell,
Eric swallows well.
Swallows well. And, what's his name? Ted Lieu? Ted Lieu. Isn't he California? It's insane. But no, that's on you. If you want to correct people for misgendering you, how about this? Why don't we just ignore your ass for the rest of your life? Let's just ignore you. You're persona non grata. You don't exist. Clean slate. Boom. Tabula rasa. Done. You're out. We just ignore you. We shun you from the community. You're out.
Yeah, you're crazy.
You live outside of the wall now. You're nuts, and we're not going to deal with you. You don't want to deal with yourself? We're not going to deal with you. That's when I say we got to bring back some shame and some objectivity. It's not about your truth, my truth, or anything else. There's objective truth, and the truth is you're fucking nuts. There it is. So cry some more. I don't give a shit. I don't feel guilty for your insanity. No. That's the simple fact. And guess what? I feel no shame about it. There you go. We'll be right back. Fun shows coming up as we head into December. Ottumwa, Iowa. That's the one I want you to focus on. Sending me in there. It's going to be cold. I get there like I land on the plane 3 hours before the show and then bam, right on it and then turn around and come right back. In and out. Hopefully the weather's going to cooperate. We'll see. But watchchad.com is where the fun stuff is. Go check it out. And, of course, follow Sara on all her socials and shop Sara G. You're lovely as always.
Thank you.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too.
I will. And y'all have a great Thanksgiving as well. We'll see you next week. Tune in for Overtime. Bye.